Hello everyone, today we are going to be talking about bioavailability and first pass metabolism. So what is first pass metabolism? See, first pass metabolism is the amount of drug which is metabolized before reaching systemic circulation. Now what do you mean by systemic circulation? Systemic circulation is definitely your bloodstream, right? So it is the amount of drug which is metabolized before reaching systemic circulation. And where does this metabolism of drug happen? It happens in the liver, right? Now you tell me logically, what do you want? Do you want the drug to get metabolized more or do you want less drug to be metabolized? Exactly. You want the drug to be metabolized less so that more drug can reach the systemic circulation, right? So now what happens is you are required to bypass liver, because if you are taking any drug orally, it will go through liver, get metabolized and then reach the systemic circulation. But if you are giving a drug by IV route, see, IV route is you are directly injecting the drug in the bloodstream, so there is no absorption in that case, but there is 100% bioavailability. Now what do you mean by bioavailability? See, we are going to solve one question through which you are going to understand what is first pass metabolism and what is bioavailability. So don't worry about that. I'm just telling you the definition right now. You just write down the definition, okay? So bioavailability is the percentage of dose going to systemic circulation. Write it down right now so that I can explain you this example, and through this example you will be able to understand first pass metabolism and bioavailability very well. Now, what is bioavailability? It is the percentage of dose which is going to systemic circulation. Now, bioavailability depends on two factors, that is first pass metabolism and absorption. When do you say that the bioavailability is more or the bioavailability is less? See, when you are talking about bioavailability will be less in the cases in which you have high first pass metabolism and less absorption. Because see, when you are talking about bioavailability is the percentage of dose which is reaching the systemic circulation. And we said that first pass metabolism is the amount of drug which is metabolized before reaching systemic circulation. Now the drug which will reach systemic circulation has to undergo through metabolism, right? Now if the drug is getting more and more metabolized, less drug is going to reach the systemic circulation, right? So if there is high first pass metabolism, there will be less bioavailability. Now when you talk about absorption, see, when you are talking about absorption, no, if a drug is getting less absorbed, then definitely less drug will go to systemic circulation. If a drug is getting more absorbed, there is more absorption, then more drug goes to systemic circulation, right? Don't worry, I will give you this example, and through this question you are going to understand all the concepts, okay? Right now, let's just talk about this. See, IV, when we talk about IV, intravenous drugs, you are directly giving the injection. When we studied absorption, we studied that there is no absorption in the case of intravenous drugs. Why is there no absorption? Because you are directly injecting it in the bloodstream. And when you are directly injecting it in the bloodstream, what is happening? There is no absorption. Absorption simply means that the drug has to travel from site of administration to your bloodstream or systemic circulation, right? That is your bloodstream. So now, IV drugs, they have got 0% absorption and 100% bioavailability. Why 100% bioavailability? Because here you have already bypassed liver. And when you talk about oral, they have to undergo absorption, distribution, and then finally they are going to enter the bloodstream. So they have least bioavailability. Now let me take you to this example. See, there is one drug X and the oral dose of the drug is 100 milligram. Absorption is 70%, oral bioavailability is 30%, and you have to calculate the first pass metabolism. So the first thing that you should know is, when you are taking a drug orally, it is entering your esophagus and going inside the stomach, and then it is going inside the small intestine and then the large intestine. But see, when it is going inside the small intestine, it is going to get absorbed through portal veins, and it will go to the liver, it will get metabolized, and then it will enter inferior vena cava, and inferior vena cava, as we all know, is going to drain in the right atrium of heart, then from right atrium to right ventricle, and then to the lungs, and then left atrium, left ventricle, aorta, and then all the arteries and arterioles. So now what is happening over here is, it is getting absorbed, and then it is getting distributed, metabolized, it is getting metabolized, and then finally it will enter the systemic circulation. So see, what has been asked to you over here is, what is first pass metabolism? So let me explain you everything step by step. See, what is the amount of drug absorbed? it has been given to you that 70% is absorbed. So 70% of what? 70% of the dose. 70% of 100 comes out to be 70 milligram. Okay. So the drug which is absorbed is entering the liver. That means 70 milligram is absorbed and 70 milligram is entering the liver. Now, what is oral bioavailability given to you? Oral bioavailability is 30%. The percentage is given to you, but the amount is not given to you. So you have to find out the amount. 30% of 100 or what? 30% of 100 or 30% of 70? You tell me what you are going to do. I told you the definition of bioavailability. It is the percentage of dose entering the systemic circulation. There will be some people who will do 30% of 70 milligram. But there will be some smart people who will go according to the definition. See, the definition of bioavailability is percentage of dose going to systemic circulation. That means it is the percentage of dose. And what is the dose that you have given? Oral dose. That is 100 milligram. So 30% of 100 comes out to be 30 milligram. Okay. That means the oral bioavailability is 30 milligram. Now what is first pass metabolism? First pass metabolism is the drug which is getting metabolized. Okay. So see, what is happening over here is, how much drug is getting absorbed? 70 milligram. So the drug which is entering the liver is 70 milligram. The drug which is exiting the liver and going to the systemic circulation is what? 30 milligram. Now 70 milligram enters, 30 milligram goes out. How much is left? 70 minus 30, that is 40 milligram. So this 40 milligram of drug is getting metabolized. 70 milligram came here and 40 milligram got metabolized and the rest was sent to the systemic circulation. Understood? This is very important to understand, okay, when you are talking about first pass metabolism and bioavailability. So what happened here? 70 milligram was absorbed, 30 milligram went out. So the drug which is metabolized is 40 milligram. I hope you have understood first pass metabolism and bioavailability through this example. I have tried to explain you in detail and in a very easy way. Now, a very, very high yield question, that is high first pass metabolism. The drugs which undergo high first pass metabolism. See, always and always remember such things because they are always asked in the exams. Okay. And they are very clinically correlated also, because a drug which will undergo high first pass metabolism, that means you will have to give more dose because it is undergoing more metabolism. So if you give 100 milligram, there are two drugs like drug X and drug Y. The bioavailability, okay, let's not talk about the bioavailability, let's talk only about metabolism so that you don't get confused. Now drug X is getting 30% metabolized and drug Y is getting 40% metabolized. That means if you are giving 100 milligram, 30 milligram will be metabolized. So how much is left? 70 milligram only to go in the systemic circulation. If you imagine that there is 100% absorption. Okay. If you are imagining 100% absorption, then only it is possible. And what about the drug Y? In the case of drug Y, you will have 60 milligram left. Okay. 60 milligram left in the systemic circulation. So you will have to give more dose of drug Y. Right. So the drugs which have got high first pass metabolism, you have to give more dose. So it is very important that you clinically correlate all the topics. Okay. Now see, high first pass metabolism, when you are talking about the drugs having high first pass metabolism, I have made a mnemonic for you all. So do not worry about anything. Nitrates have pre-systemic metabolism in liver. See, always your mnemonic has to be like that, that it makes you remember of the topic. It makes you recognize the topic also. It shouldn't be a mnemonic for which you have to make one more mnemonic to memorize it, right? So nitrates have pre-systemic metabolism in liver. N nitrates. So N for nitrates have H for hydrocortisone, P for propranolol, S for salbutamol, M for morphine, L for lignocaine. Okay, lignocaine is also called as lidocaine. So nitrates, hydrocortisone, propranolol, salbutamol, morphine and lignocaine. So you have to remember this mnemonic. Nitrates have pre-systemic metabolism in liver. I will ask you again, okay, at the end. So remember this. Now, see, there is a patient, okay, there is a patient and he has been administered some drug orally. Now, how do you measure the drug concentration? To measure the drug concentration, you are going to take time -1, 0, 1, 2, 4. Now, what is -1? -1 is basically 1 hour before the administration of drug. And then when the drug is administered, then after 1 hour, after 2 hour, after 4 hour. Then you get this curve which is called as concentration time curve. So what happens is, You administered the drug over here, right? This is concentration, plasma concentration in milligram per deciliter, and this is your time. So now what happens, this is plasma concentration and time. You administer the drug. Slowly the level increases in the plasma, in your blood, right? And at one point of time, it reaches its maximum concentration. And the time when it is reaching its maximum concentration, it is called as Tmax. Okay? Wait, I am explaining everything, don't worry. So it reaches its maximum concentration. After reaching its maximum concentration, its concentration will decrease. So the maximum concentration is Cmax. At the time where the Cmax is reached, you get Tmax. Remember, Tmax is not the maximum time. Tmax is the time at which your maximum concentration is reached. So what you get is, this is a bell-shaped curve. Remember, this is the curve that you get in case of oral drug administration. This is not any other administration we are talking about. We are talking about the drug which is administered orally. Okay. Now see, Tmax is the time taken to reach Cmax. It gives you the rate of absorption. How it will give you the rate of absorption? If Tmax is more, rate of absorption is less. See, what happens is, when you take a drug and if it is taking more time, that means Tmax is more, if it is taking more time, if it is taking a lot of time to reach its maximum concentration, that means it is getting slowly absorbed, right? But if it reaches its maximum concentration at a very fast time, that means the rate of absorption is very high. So Tmax is inversely proportional to rate of absorption. So what all things you are getting from this concentration time curve, what all things you can find out? You can find out Cmax, you can find out Tmax, and you can find out bioavailability. Now you will ask me, how do we find out bioavailability? See, very easy. The area under the curve gives you bioavailability. Okay? The area under the curve gives you bioavailability. You get Cmax, you get Tmax, and from Tmax you come to know about rate of absorption, and from the area under the curve you get bioavailability. Now you see, this is the curve for IV drug. Why? Because IV drugs have 100% bioavailability. Why they have 100% bioavailability? Because you're directly giving the drug in the bloodstream and you're bypassing liver in that case. So this is concentration, this is time. Remember, these lines never meet. They are never meeting. X-axis and Y-axis, they are never meeting. You can just pull it up or push it up, whatever you say. Okay, so this line is never meeting Y-axis. So the area under the curve gives you bioavailability. In the case of IV drugs, you have this kind of graph and you get bioavailability as 100%. Now there is a small topic which you should not study in detail because it has got no relevance according to your exams. But yeah, when you are talking about clinical cases, sometimes it becomes important to study this topic, but not in so much of detail. See, bioequivalence. The drugs which are bioequivalent are the drugs which have similar rate of absorption and extent of absorption. So rate of absorption you can predict by Tmax, right? Extent of absorption is basically your bioavailability. So extent of absorption and rate of absorption have to be similar. So this is all about bioavailability. Similar to this bioavailability and first pass metabolism, in your life also, you know what happens? You sometimes metabolize your own positive energy. Every day's progress is very important. Remember, little progress is very important to get your goals. It is very important that you be happy, you be healthy, you love yourself, and you work for your goals every single day. And you know what? If sometimes opportunity is not knocking your door, you have to make a new door. Remember this one very important thing, that if opportunity is not knocking the door of your life, then you build a new door, baby. Because it is very important that you show yourself who you are. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone else in this world. You know what? When you talk about a jeweler and you talk about a diamond, the worth of diamond can only be recognized by that jeweler, right? If an artificial diamond is shown to you, you might feel that it is real and you might value it more than the other diamond which doesn't look real, right? But what matters is what you are made up of. It is very important that you stay very confident and very happy in your life, very healthy in your life, and you progress every single day. You know, sometimes we tend to blame our environment. We tend to say that no one is studying, no one is doing anything, no one is doing that, no one is doing that. Why the hell are you blaming the environment? You know what? When you put an egg in boiling water, when you look at boiled egg and when you look at boiling potato, what happens? The potato softens, but the egg is going to get hardened. So it is never the circumstances, it is never the environment that you're surrounded with. It is always and always what you are made up of. See, you have to prioritize your time. You have to know that your goals are everything for you. And when you know that your goals are everything for you, then no one means no one can stop you. The Almighty is always going to be with you, helping you get your dreams. So it is very important. It is very, very important that every day you're working for your dreams. Okay, so we will meet tomorrow and have a very happy, healthy life. It is very important to keep your life very balanced. Bye bye. Thank you.